Patreon community goal update. It's now 44% away from the first goal. Keep it up. What? Zhu Yiqun immediately raised his eyebrows when he heard the words, and he said angrily, "You dignified Nalan Mansion actually turns back on your words?" It was also in this hall that day. It was Nalan Zhengze personally agreed with me, and the sixth prince was also there. After I went back, he reported the marriage to the noble concubine. Now that you want to go back to your words? Aren't you afraid that the world will laugh at you when they know this? Aren't you afraid that the noble concubine will punish you? Mrs. Nalan shrank her neck when Zhu Yiqun yelled, but she immediately felt confident when she saw the crown prince sitting aside. So what if he is the sixth prince? Didn't you see the crown prince sitting next to you? Could the sixth prince and concubine be bigger than the crown prince? Having said this, Mrs. Nalan's expression was immediately full of pride and smug. Master Zhu, do you know why the crown prince is here today? His Highness is here to marry our Feishue. Do you still want to snatch the marriage from the crown prince? Zhu Yiqun was shocked when he heard the words. What did you say? Zhu Zhongba was still out of the situation, staring straight at Nalan Feishue, and wiping the saliva from the corner of his mouth from time to time. Nalan Zhengze coughed lightly, saying seemingly gently, Master Zhu, we don't want to embarrass you, but you can see that the crown prince is interested in our little girl. And he personally brought betrothal gifts to propose. Master Zhu, you don't really want to disobey the crown prince, right? However, the marriage between our Nalan family and Zhu family was indeed agreed long ago. Since we agreed, we naturally can't renege, let alone let Master Zhu suffer a loss. What do you think, Master Zhu? I will marry my third daughter, Nalan Hushi, to your son. In this way, the Zhu family and the Nalan family are still in-laws, and the crown prince can also be satisfied. I wonder what does Master Zhu think of that? Zhu Yiqun's complexion changed for a while. Looking at his son's obsessive gaze at Nalan Feishue's outstanding talents, and thinking about Nalan Hushi's sallow face, he felt unwilling in his heart. No matter how, Nalan Feishue is better than Nalan Hushi and more suitable for my son. But the crown prince is sitting there. If we offend the crown prince, and he condemns our Zhu family. Zhu Yiqun weighed in his mind, but in the end he could only compromise. He gritted his teeth and was about to agree. Suddenly, the crown prince who had been sitting silently stood up and said, Wait a minute. Seeing everyone looking over, Shang Guanqi smiled slightly. Then he put his hands behind his back and slowly said, Dr. Nalan, have you misunderstood my intention? It is true that I want to propose the lady of the Nalan family, but I want to propose to the third miss of the Nalan family, Nalan Hushi. As he said, he nodded slightly at Nalan Zhengze, showing an expression as if he were noble. Dr. Nalan, I want to marry Miss Nalan Hushi as my concubine, so Dr. Nalan, please fulfill my wish. As soon as this remark came out, everyone present was stupefied. There was a weird silence in the main hall. Nalan Feishue's pitiful expression was still on her face. She was frozen at this moment. She looked like a joke. Mrs. Nalan, who was still smug just now, was full of astonishment and disbelief. Her face looked pale. Nalan Zhengze was even more shocked. Originally, he had prepared high-sounding words to say, but at this time they were all stuck in his throat. Please go to https://www.novelupdates.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. Even Nalan Ziyun, who was originally watching a good show by the side, was dumbfounded. There was a bad feeling in his heart. His Highness has never seen Nalan Hushi. Why would he suddenly want to marry her as his concubine? Could it be because I mentioned the special physique of Nalan Hushi to His Highness, and it made him interested in it? Thinking of this, Nalan Ziyun couldn't sit still. He mentioned Nalan Hushi to His Highness at the time because he wanted to arouse Nalan Feishue's jealousy and let her kill Hushi. What he said about Nalan Hushi's pure physique, and it could help the martial artists to quickly advance their cultivation, were all nonsense. If His Highness marries her and finds that Nalan Hushi is completely useless for his cultivation, and she is even an ugly woman, he may put the blame on me. Nalan Ziyun scolded Nalan Hushi thousands of times in his heart, but he forced a smile and broke the silence in the hall. His Highness, I remember that you and my third sister did not meet each other. Why would you want to marry her? Hearing Nalan Ziyun's words, Nalan Jingza also suddenly recovered. He quickly said, His Highness, I'm also surprised. Why would you want to marry Hashi? You should know that my third daughter is just a normal mortal. She isn't qualified to be the crown prince's concubine. Shang Guanqi glanced at Nalan Ziyun and smiled faintly. Ziyun should know the reason better than others, right? What's more, even Shi Yu is interested in Nalan 3rd Mississippi. How could 3rd Miss be just an ordinary person? As he said firmly, Dr. Nalan, why? Am I not qualified to marry Nalan family's 3rd Miss as a concubine? No. As soon as Shang Guanqi said this, Nalan Ziyun and Nalan Jing's faces looked extremely ugly. At this time, Nalan Feishua finally recovered. The dullness on her face turned into incredible resentment and shock. She screamed, No, this is impossible. Brother Prince, you obviously like me. Why would you want to marry Nalan Hashi, that ugly woman? Back in Fanyan Mountain, you were very caring for me. You must like me. Prince brother, can you quickly tell me that you are here to marry me? Zhu Yichun also saw that the situation was wrong at this time. He sneered and said, So it turns out that His Highness wants to marry 3rd Miss of Nalan Mansion. Then it's just right. Nalan Feishua has an engagement with our Zhu family. If the 2 marriages are settled, Nalan Mansion will have double happiness. Zhu Zhongba comfortably showed the affectionate expression, and he reached out to Nalan Feishua. Sister Feishua, you will be mine from now on. Don't touch me. You fat pig, get out of the way. Nalan Feishua let out a sharp scream. She launched a wind blade with her hand at Zhu Zhongba. Zhu Zhongba didn't defend at all. Seeing that the wind blade was about to hit Zhu Zhongba, Zhu Yichun rushed out in time to block the attack for Zhu Zhongba. Zhu Yichun's face immediately sank and looked at Nalan Jingza coldly. Dr. Nalan, His Highness has said that he is going to marry the 3rd Miss of Nalan Mansion. Do you still want to go back on your words to reject the marriage with Zhu family? Nalan Jingza's face was pale. He couldn't speak for a while. Please go to https://www.novelupdates. cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. At this moment, Nalan Ziyun suddenly said, Your Highness, you haven't met my 3rd sister, right? Why don't you wait until you meet my 3rd sister before deciding which lady to marry from the Nalan family? When Nalan Ziyun said this, Nalan Feishua and Mrs. Nalan were immediately happy. Nalan Feishua nodded repeatedly and said, Yes. Brother Prince, as long as you see that ugly monster, you will never want to marry her. After that, she glared at the maid who was aside and sternly said, Hurry up and call Nalan Hashi. After a while, Hashi, dressed in plain clothes, was brought up by the maid. As soon as Hashi appeared, she immediately attracted everyone's attention, but most people were feeling contemptuous. Nalan Hashi's appearance was too lackluster. She didn't have Nalan Feishua's exquisite and graceful curves and no snow-white skin. She had a sallow face. Black patches were around her eyes, and her eyelids were swollen. Zhu Zhongba could even recognize Hashi at the first glance. However, he was frightened after being hit by Hashi the first 2 times. When he saw Hashi, his first reaction wasn't angry, but he shrank his neck, just hoping that she would not see him. Although the time for the slave's ownership was long over, the slave mark in Zhu Zhongba's mind was only for temporary handover, and it would not be kept for long. But Zhu Zhongba's fear of Hashi had penetrated into his bones. What's more, compared to the hatred of Hashi, he now wants to marry Nalan Feishua, the beautiful girl. Otherwise, as long as he thought of marrying Hashi, the ugly monster, and being punched and kicked by her every day, Zhu Zhongba could not help but shudder. The moment Shang Guanqi saw Nalan Hashi, his brows frowned. He really didn't expect Nalan Hashi to be so ugly. She looked so shriveled like a little daylily. She didn't have the charm of Nalan Feishua at all. Such a woman, if she was placed in the crown prince's palace, she wasn't even qualified to be a maid. When Nalan Ziyun saw the crown prince showed a serious contempt and disgust after seeing Hashi, he couldn't help but laugh and say, "Your Highness, this is my third sister, Nalan Hashi." As he said, he got closer to the prince and lowered his voice. "Your Highness, my third sister is really just a mortal. The special physique that I spoke of, it was her who told me. But I later only got to know that it was a lie made by my third sister to win my father's favor. In fact, my third sister is really just an ordinary person, and maybe because she was raised in the courtyard since she was a child, she may be a little rude. The crown prince frowned a little tighter upon hearing this. In fact, when Nalan Zian told him about Nalan Hushi's pure physique, he also sent someone to investigate. The results of the investigation did not find out what kind of physique she was, but after hearing someone describe her ugly appearance and cowardly personality, he had lost the interest. But on breaking Spirit Mountain, Shang Guanqi accidentally knew that the young miracle healer Shiyu was asking about Nalan Hushi, and he couldn't help but become curious again. Who was Shiyu? He was the most dazzling new star in Yanjing City in recent years. He cured Ouyang Haoshuan's terminal illness, solved the blood-drunk poison in Sealed Dragon Domain's secret territory, and he was favored by His Royal Highness King of Hell. Even the little princess Shen Qingchua of the Shen family, and their Qixing palace's Xia Yichen, both respected him very much. Not to mention the lofty Feng family, that the Jinling royal family did not dare to go against, actually repeatedly suffered a loss to Shiyu. They could not do anything with him. From these things, it could be seen how powerful this Shiyu is now. I have never heard of a woman Shiyu pays attention to. Then why does he pay attention to an unremarkable Nalan Hushi? Is it because Nalan Hushi really has a purine physique? So what if she doesn't have the purine physique? As long as I can connect with Shiyu through Nalan Hushi, I will have countless medicinal pills at that time. Maybe the whole Shengda Hall will be mine. Thinking of this, Shang Guanqi's eyes darkened a bit. Isn't it just a little side concubine? So what if she is ugly? I can just leave her alone after marrying her. For Shang Guanqi, improving strength and political power was the most important thing now. Nalan Zian still whispered in his ear, "Your Highness, you see that my second sister is really in love with you, and her cultivation qualifications are good. Instead of marrying an ugly woman with a useless physique, it's better." Zian, you don't need to say more. Shang Guanqi interrupted him suddenly. The pair of eyes looked at Hushi with a hint of doing a charity. I have long admired Nalan Third Mrs. Intelligence and Dignity, and I don't care about her appearance and aptitude at all. I want to marry Nalan Third Mississippi. Is Dr. Nalan still reluctant? Nalan Zheng's face looked even more gloomy and ugly. He wanted to reject, but he couldn't go against the Crown Prince's power. The Crown Prince was different from the Zhu family. If he agrees, and what if Nalan Hushi uses and Ling Yue's relics to seek favor from the Crown Prince? Wouldn't Nalan family get nothing in the end? When Nalan Feishua heard Shang Guanqi's words, she screamed without thinking, "Prince brother, how is this ugly trash worthy of you? How can you really admire her? I'm the one whom you should admire. Such an ugly monster like Nalan Hushi should marry to Zhu Zhongba, that fat pig. The prince brother, look at me. I'm Nalan Feishua, and I should be your concubine." Shang Guanqi snorted as if he hadn't heard Nalan Feishua's shout. He felt a little contempt for Nalan Feishua's behavior in forcing a marriage. He encountered many women who want to marry him like this. And in his house, there weren't really any women that were more beautiful than Nalan Feishua. Now for him, of course Nalan Hushi, a woman who was valued by Shiyu, was more important. Zhu Yichun was trembling in anger. Nalan Feishua said these words, "Is she trying to put shame on my Zhu family?" Hushi really unexpectedly heard the conversation between several people. Shang Guanqi wants to marry me, a side concubine. He even disregards my ugly appearance and useless physique. What is he thinking? Qing Wan, who was following Hushi, looked even more unsightly. Hushi is the future princess of the King of Hell Mansion, and my master's sweetheart. Why are they coveting our princess? Are they tired of living? Azu lowered her face and secretly crushed an inscribed jade slip in her arms. Shang Guanqi straightened his clothes and turned to Hushi, showing an expression that he thought to be elegant. He said gently, "Third miss, I want to marry as my concubine, are you willing?" After Shang Guanqi said this, he waited for Hushi to weep with joy, nod desperately, and beg him to marry her back. Please go to https://www.novelupdates. cc/ the king of hell is genius pampered wife / to read the latest chapters for free. But then he heard two decisive words. Not willing. Shang Guanqi picked his ears and looked at Hushi in disbelief. Third miss, did you not hear my question clearly just now? Hushi smiled slowly. Her facial features weren't outstanding usually. When she smiled, her eyes became brighter than the stars and clearer than the crystals. However, there was a touch of coldness in her eyes. Hushi casually said, Your Highness is so young, but your ears already. I said that I don't want to marry you as a concubine. Do you hear clearly this time? You. Shang Guanqi's face suddenly became gloomy. The other people in the room also dropped their jaws, and they were speechless for a long time. Shang Guanqi suppressed the raging anger in his mind, and he asked in a deep voice, Nalan Hushi, you are just a concubine's daughter in the Nalan Mansion area. I'm the crown prince of the Jinling Kingdom, the future emperor. Am I still not worthy of you? Hushi sneered without saying anything. The crown prince could not understand the sarcasm in this sneer. He thought she had her own reasons, and he couldn't help but cough and calmed his attitude. Third miss, if you have something unspeakable that makes you not dare to agree on it, you can tell me. As the crown prince, is it that I can't help you out? As he said, Shang Guanqi subtly glanced at Nalan Jingzi and Nalan Feishue. Something unspeakable? Hushi said casually. I would rather be a beggar's wife than an emperor's concubine. Well, does this reason count? When Hushi said this, there was a commotion in the hall. Shang Guanqi looked at her with contempt and disgust in his eyes. It turns out that this woman rejected me because she doesn't want the position concubine and wants to become the real princess. With her ugly appearance and useless physique, she wants to become a princess. Isn't that a disgrace for me? It's already my greatest gift to give her the position of concubine. This woman is not yet satisfied. Her ambition is too big. The others couldn't help but look at Hushi mockingly. Such a useless daughter of a concubine actually has such an ambition? Is she not afraid of being laughed at? Nalan Ziyun saw the unsightly face of the crown prince, and her heart was full of gloat. Nalan Hushi, that idiot, thinks that she can earn a good future for herself by playing hard to get? Can she look at herself first? Now that she offends the crown prince, let's see how she can solve this. Hushi seemed to be totally unaware of the weird atmosphere of the hall. She just smiled and said, Since the marriage has been rejected, if there isn't anything else, I will leave first. After speaking, she turned around and left. Shang Guanqi shouted furiously behind her back, You stop! Hushi paused slightly, but she didn't turn around. She just raised her brows and looked in the direction of the door. The door was suddenly opened slowly by a manservant, and someone said excitedly, Master, madam, the eldest miss is back. At the next moment, a woman wearing a yellow embroidered shirt and a white gauze slowly walked into the hall. The woman was only in her early 20s. She was tall, and she had exquisite features. Her black hair was combed up, revealing a smooth forehead and fierce eyebrows. Her whole body revealed a kind of cold and alienated breath, but it did not hinder the amazingness of her beauty. Please go to https://www.novelupdates. cc/ the king of hell is genius pampered wife / to read the latest chapters for free. As soon as the woman walked in, Mrs. Nalan couldn't help but rushed over excitedly. She was speaking in a tremble. Yurong, my daughter, you are finally back. Nalan Feishue also rushed into Nalan Yurong's arms and cried aggrievedly, Elder sister, you are finally back, you must help Feishue. The person came and was Nalan Yurong, the most outstanding child in the generation of Nalan family. Regardless of her appearance or temperament, she was the best among the members of the Nalan family. In her early 30s, she was already a master of the peak of the meridian stage. Most importantly, she was also a fourth-ranked doctor. She was even the disciple of Master Shukong, the elder of the Doctors' Association. Even if Nalan Feishue was equally charming and talented, she would seem ordinary and unremarkable standing with Nalan Yurong. This was the first time Hushi saw Nalan Yurong. Even in the memory of the original owner, she rarely saw the eldest miss of the Nalan family. Nalan Yurong calmly comforted Mrs. Nalan and Nalan Feishua, before walking slowly into the hall. All eyes were looking at her. Both Zhu Zhongba's and Zhu Yichun's eyes widened, and Zhu Zhongba's saliva was dripping down. Shang Guanqi performed better than them, but Nalan Yurong's outstanding temperament and exquisite appearance still made him look a little infatuated. Nalan Yurong had long been accustomed to the behavior of these men when they saw her, and she slightly bowed to Nalan Jingze. "Father, your daughter is back." "Great. It's great that you come back." Nalan Jingze, who always looked solemn, revealed a kind smile when he saw Nalan Yurong. This daughter was the pride of Nalan family and the pride of Nalan Jingze. Nalan Yurong nodded slightly to Shang Guanqi again, but she did not bow to him. She just said in a cold voice, "Greetings to Your Highness." Shang Guanqi didn't feel humiliated at all, and he said quickly, "Miss, there is no need for that." Nalan Yurong finished the greeting with Shang Guanqi. Then she turned her icy gaze to Hushi. She smiled slightly as she said, "I think this is the third sister who has caused turmoils in Nalan Mansion recently, right? Hearing your reputation isn't really as good as meeting you personally." Before Hushi could reply, Nalan Yurong's face suddenly sank and said coldly, "I just heard the third sister's arrogant words before stepping in. You said that you would rather be a beggar's wife than an emperor's concubine? But third sister, do you forget what your identity is? Whether you are a beggar's wife or an emperor's concubine, can you simply choose with your identity?" As soon as Nalan Yurong's words came out, Nalan Feishua immediately smiled and went along. "Elder sister is right. You're just a useless person. And you still dare to say don't want to be the emperor's concubine? It's really funny. Do you really think that Prince Brother will marry an ugly woman like you as his wife?" Hushi looked at Nalan Yurong. Under the strong pressure of Nalan Yurong, her eyes did not fluctuate at all. The smile on her mouth was plain. She said modestly, "What does elder sister mean by this? Please forgive your third sister. I can't understand you. Elder sister has always been a self-righteous person. Before, when Brother Han of the Shui Yu sect came to propose, elder sister said that even if Shui Yu sect is powerful, you will never marry someone you look down on. Why? When it is your third sister's turn, can't your third sister look down on the position of the crown prince's concubine? Isn't elder sister too double standard? Or is it that the Nalan family nowadays has fallen to the point where they have to rely on their children's marriage to gain power? The big sister must be careful. After all, the most valuable and the most possible person who can exchange power for marriage for the Nalan family is you, elder sister." Nalan Yurong was stunned by what Hushi said. She couldn't regain her thought for a long while. In her impression, although she had never seen Nalan Hushi for several times, in her impression, Hushi had always been a cowardly and useless little girl who could only cry. But now, under the pressure of my own spiritual pressure, Hushi dares to refute me. For many years, in this Nalan family, even my father seldom refutes me, not to mention other people. Now this Nalan Hushi, where does her courage come from? Nalan Feishua grabbed Nalan Yurong's sleeves and snorted coldly. "Elder sister, she wants to be a beggar's wife anyway, so let her marry the fat pig Zhu Zhongba. Being Zhu Zhongba's wife is better than being a beggar's wife. She should thank us." Nalan Yurong glanced at Zhu Zhongba, who was on the side, and a hint of disgust flashed in her eyes. She instead smiled. "Feishua is right. Since third sister is not willing to be the prince's concubine, let her marry the Zhu family and be their wife. What does father think about it?" Nalan Jingze immediately showed a satisfied smile. He nodded and said, "Of course it is good." Nalan Yurong really deserved to be his most beloved daughter. She immediately solved the dilemma that troubled him. Then it is us better to settle the marriage between third sister and Zhu family today, and let third sister marry Zhu Zhongba as his wife in a few days. Nalan Yurong smiled and said undoubtedly. "In addition, since the crown prince came to propose, I think you just want to form a bond with our Nalan family. Since my third sister isn't willing in marrying you, why don't you marry my second sister? She is talented and clever since young, and we have the same mother. If Nalan Feishua marries the crown prince as wife, I will definitely help from the side." Nalan Yurong emphasized the word wife. Nalan Feishua was the daughter of Nalan Mansion, and her blood sister to Nalan Yurong. Unlike Nalan Hushi, who was born by a concubine, Nalan Feishua wasn't out of her league to be the crown prince's wife. What's more, just the crown prince of a small Jinling kingdom. Nalan Yurong didn't put him in her eyes at all. Shang Guanqi frowned. He glanced at Hushi. He wanted to marry her. However, when he remembered her refusal just now that put him on the spot, he was full of hatred and did not want to refute. What's more, Nalan Yurong's identity was special. If he marries Nalan Feishua, she and Master Shukong would really be able to help her in the future, which was also beneficial to him. Since the crown prince did not speak, it meant acquiescence. As Nalan Zhengze was very happy, Zhu Zhongba, who had been staring lustfully at Nalan Feishua and Nalan Yurong, suddenly woke up just as the marriage was about to settle. Thinking that he was going to marry Nalan Hushi, Zhu Zhongba couldn't help but yelled like a pig. I don't want to marry that woman. I don't want to marry Nalan Hushi. Father, I definitely don't want to marry that ugly monster. If I marry that witch home, I will definitely not survive the wedding night. Zhu Zhongba wanted to yell this sentence. But when he looked at Hushi's indifferent gaze, he trembled in fright and never dared to talk nonsense again. Zhu Yiqun's face also looked very ugly. Please go to https://www.novelupdates.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. The Nalan family's attitude that they didn't pay attention to their Zhu family at all made him feel aggrieved, but he couldn't vent it. His son wanted to marry the legitimate daughter, but now it became the concubine's daughter. A beautiful wife now became an ugly one. How could they reconcile? Zhu Yiqun gritted his teeth under great pressure. Dr. Nalan, don't forget Nalan's second miss in my family. Zhongba had an intimate relationship before. Master Zhu, please be careful with your words. Nalan Yurong interrupted Zhu Yiqun coldly. His voice was cold, and he released his spirit pressure quietly. I think Master Zhu must have made a mistake, right? Someone who has had an intimate relationship with Zhu Zhongba was not Feishua, but Hushi, right? It's just that Master Zhu was confused, so you recognized the wrong person. Master Zhu, am I right? The sweat on Zhu Yiqun's forehead fell like rain, and his face became more and more ugly. Zhu Zhongba looked even worse. He was trembling all over. The smell of urine spread from his crotch, and his face was full of perplex and fear. Zhu Yiqun couldn't resist the pressure, so he could only say in a tremble, Yes, we Zhu family will want to marry. 3rd Mississippi. That's the best. Nalan Yurong showed a satisfied smile, and the spirit pressure instantly reduced. Nalan Feishua flew next to Nalan Yurong like a butterfly. She held Yurong's arm and said softly, Elder sister, fortunately you are here, otherwise mother and I will be bullied to death by that slut. Elder sister, you are the best for me. Nalan Yurong smiled arrogantly, staring at Hushi with disdain. You are just a mere mortal. Do you really think you can turn the sky? Second sister, you have to look farther. Get along with Crown Prince after you marry him. As for the ants, just trample them to death. Nalan Feishua nodded again and again. Her eyes were full of excitement and triumph. And occasionally she looked at Shang Guanqi with shyness and happiness. Seeing that the situation was set, Nalan Zhengze coughed lightly and said with a delighted smile, Since Master Zhu and His Highness have both agreed, then this marriage. Master, madam. An anxious shout came from the door. The manservant who ran and stumbled, his face was panic. When he crossed the threshold, he almost tripped and fell down. What is it to panic about? Where is your manner? Nalan Zhengze's face immediately turned black. Have you not seen how many distinguished guests are in the room? Don't you know how shameful it is? But the manservant didn't seem to hear Nalan Zhengze's blame at all. He knelt on the ground and stammered. Master, someone is visiting outside the door. Why, there are people visiting again. A look of surprise appeared on Nalan Zhengze's face. What the hell is going on today? All sorts of matters happen all together, Nalan Zhengze said solemnly. Whoever is visiting, let him give the greeting card. Yes. It's King of Hell Mansion. It's the butler of King of Hell Mansion. The manservant suddenly raised his voice. He was almost growling, King King of Hell Mansion is also here to propose marriage. Another one comes to propose marriage. Naelanjung's first reaction was that why all people chose to propose marriage today. But the next moment, he reacted to the guest that the manservant was talking about. You, who are you talking about? Who is here to propose marriage? Naelanjung's suddenly stood up and asked with a trembling voice. The manservant swallowed, and he felt like he was dreaming. It is Butler Nan of the King of Hell Mansion. He said that he is here to propose marriage on behalf of His Royal Highness King of Hell. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. As soon as these words came out, the main hall of Naelan Mansion fell into a strange silence again. And this time, except for Hushi, everyone's faces were incredibly shocked. Hushi glanced at Qingluan next to her, and Qingluan immediately showed an expression of "I'm innocent, I haven't done anything." Naelanjung's froze for a while. Then he recovered abruptly. He immediately shouted, Quickly welcome the person. Let him come in." Everyone knew Butler Nan of the King of Hell Mansion in Yinjing City. He was the master of the Gold Core stage, and he was responsible for the external affairs of the King of Hell Mansion. It could be said that the presence of Butler Nan represented the meaning of King of Hell Nangongyu. The manservant stumbled and ran out, but Naelanjung's quickly wondered, how can King of Hell come to propose marriage? Even Shangguanqi was shocked. That was King of Hell. Don't see that the Shangguan family was the royal family of Jinling Kingdom, but they were incomparable compared to King of Hell, Nangongyu. He was the only nascent soul stage master in the Jinling Kingdom, who was only 20 years old. The Iron Kirin army in his hand could block the fierce magical beast army from the magical beast forest. The four major sects of the Miluo continent completely looked down on Jinling Kingdom, but in the face of Nangongyu, no sect dared not take him seriously. Even the arrogant Feng family wanted to have a marriage with Nangongyu. It was just that Nangongyu didn't like Feng Lianying. But now, the aloof King of Hell came to Naelan family to propose marriage. What secrets were hidden in the Naelan family? How could it attract Nangongyu's attention? Everyone was shocked and puzzled. At this time, Naelan Yurong, who had always had a cold and proud expression, suddenly flushed and showed a shy expression. Mrs. Naelan's eyes were keen. She noticed her daughter acting abnormally. She couldn't help asking, "Yurong, what's the matter with you?" Naelan Yurong tried her best to maintain her cold and arrogant expression, but her words still revealed infinite joy and contentment. "I probably know why King of Hell comes to propose marriage." "What?" Mrs. Naelan and Naelanjungza exclaimed at the same time. Mrs. Naelan was even more surprised and delighted, and she said in disbelief, "Yurong, do you know King of Hell? Are you too?" Naelan Yurong blushed instantly, showing the tenderness of a little girl. She said softly, "On my way home this time, I passed by the Qingming Peak on the edge of the magical beast forest, and I just ran into the rank 5 magical beast rhinoceros. Fortunately, King of Hell helped out in time, so I was not injured." "Oh, it turns out to be a hero saved the beauty. Good, it's great," Mrs. Naelan said excitedly, "because King of Hell saved you, so you two fell in love at first sight. King of Hell just met you, and he comes to propose marriage just after a few days. It seems that he really loves you." Naelan Yurong pulled Mrs. Naelan's sleeve and said, "Mother, stop. I'm so shy. If you can really marry the King of Hell Mansion, then our Naelan Mansion will be greatly promoted." Mrs. Naelan grabbed her daughter's hand, and her voice was a little trembling. Everyone thought that King of Hell and the Ice Lotus Fairy are a pair, and no one dared to think about the position of King of Hell's wife. Now that Feng Lianying had ruined her virginity and future on her own, everyone is eyeing on the position of King of Hell's wife. "I didn't expect Yurong. You can actually get the favor of King of Hell. If marriage is known by the public, how many women in the Miluo continent will envy you?" Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. Naelan Yurong was proud and vain with her cheeks blushing, but she said arrogantly, How can Feng Lianying, a shameless woman, be worthy of King of Hell? Mother, you don't know excellent, handsome and attractive King of Hell is. Mrs. Nayland had never seen her noble eldest daughter showed such a shy attitude, knowing that she liked His Royal Highness King of Hell, and now that King of Hell came to propose marriage, it was really. There was nothing better than this. Nayland Zhengze was even more surprised and delighted when he heard what his eldest daughter said. That's King of Hell. If Yurong can really marry King of Hell, then Nayland Mansion is equivalent to riding the blue cloud ladder, a path to the higher position. We don't have to worry about not having the chance to rise in the future. Who dares to say that King of Hell Mansion's in-laws are not the largest family in Yanjing City? As long as Yurong can really marry King of Hell, even if I can't get in Lingyu as relic, it doesn't matter. Thinking of this, Nayland Zhengze paced in the room with excitement. He couldn't wait for the manservant to bring the person in. In this way, the Crown Prince and Zhu family were naturally treated indifferently. Zhu family was still fine, but Shangguanqi was different. Seeing such a scene, he naturally felt unhappy. But thinking that the person who proposed marriage coming from the King of Hell Mansion, Shangguanqi could only swallow back his dissatisfaction. King of Hell, Nan Gongyu, was by no means a Jinling kingdom's royal family could offend. Hushi and Qingwuan heard all Nayland Yurong's words clearly. Hushi narrowed her eyes slightly. Her eyes were gleaming. Nan Gongyu, the guy who attracted all sorts of women, just drove away a Feng Lianying. Then he attracted another Nayland Yurong. Both fell in love at first sight. Should I congratulate him? Asa stared at Nayland Yurong angrily, and she thought in her heart, my master is only 20 years old, and this old woman is in her 30s. She even dares to miss my master. She isn't even comparable to Princess Hair. She even dares to think about marrying into King of Hell Mansion. She is simply dreaming. After a while, Butler Nan walked slowly into the main hall. He looked only around the age of 40. He had a gentle and elegant temperament. The spirit pressure was completely kept inside his body. If one didn't recognize him, he was just a middle-aged man with no cultivation base and a good temper. But everyone present did not dare to look down upon this Butler Nan. This was King of Hell Nan Gongyu's closest confidant besides Qing Long, Bai Hu Zhuke, and Xian Wu. He took care of all the internal and external affairs of King of Hell Mansion. Moreover, he was also a master at the peak of the gold core stage. As soon as Butler Nan entered the door, his eyes flashed a strange light. After that, he looked at Hushi and Qing Wan like there was nothing unusual. Dr. Nayland, sorry for visiting abruptly. Dr. Nayland, please don't be offended. Not at all. Dr. Nayland hurriedly replied respectfully, his face full of fear and flattery. Butler Nan smiled slightly and said, I believe that Dr. Nayland has already known the intention of my visit. I'm here to represent my master, King of Hell, Nan Gongyu, to propose marriage to Nayland family's miss. Although Nayland Zhengze was mentally prepared, he still took a deep breath upon hearing this sentence. The hands hanging by his side trembled slightly because of excitement, and he also couldn't maintain the calmness in his voice. Boo! Butler Nan, you are here to propose marriage for King of Hell. May I ask, is he marrying my daughter to be his wife or? Please go to https://www.read light novel. cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. Naturally wife. Butler Nan continued Nayland Zhengze's words without any hesitation. He decisively increased the favorability for his master. My master never has a wife or a concubine. He will only marry a wife in his life, and he will not have a second woman. Now that I'm here on behalf of my master to propose marriage, he is naturally marrying a wife. Ah! Mrs. Nayland let out a short exclamation, and she tightly grasped Nayland Yurong's hand. The joy and excitement on Nayland Yurong's face almost overflowed, but she was a little dizzy. Her eyes looked blurred, and she almost fainted due to the good news. Even Nayland Feishue, who was so happy just now because she was about to marry Shangguanqi, looked at Nayland Yurong with envy when she heard Butler Nan's words. That was King of Hell who was 100 times noble than the prince brother. Now he wants to marry my sister, and he even promised to marry only my sister in this life. Nayland Yurong is so lucky. Butler Nan smiled slightly and continued. The dowry gifts that King of Hell instructed me to send here are in the courtyard. Because of the rush, I only prepared some 5th and 6th grade magic weapons, and some rare treasures. Ms. Naylan, please don't be depressed by the shabby gifts. Other dowry gifts will be delivered in a few days. The magic weapons of the 5th and 6th grade are still shabby? How much King of Hell Mansion is giving for this marriage? Naylan Yurong covered her thumping heart, and said, We won't detest it. Why would we? As long as King of Hell has this intention, I will be satisfied. Butler Nan looked at her in a strange gaze, revealing a complicated expression. Naylan Zhengzi bit the tip of his tongue, and forced himself to calm down from the excitement, lest losing his manner. He then cleared his throat and said, King of Hell can be fond of my little girl Yurong. That is Yurong's blessing. How can we detest for the gifts? I will dislike the lack of offer. I'll go take out the written marriage proposal to settle this marriage. Butler Nan, please wait for a moment. Having said that, he went to his study room. Wait a minute. Butler Nan suddenly spoke and interrupted Naylan Zhengzi's actions. Just when everyone's eyes were on him, Butler Nan smiled and said, I wonder if Dr. Naylan has mistaken something. The person that our Lord, King of Hell's going to marry, is not Naylan Yurong, but Naylan family's third miss, Naylan Hushi. In the main hall, there was a strange silence for the third time. Everyone looked at the yellow-skinned Naylan Hushi like a ghost and Butler Nan who was smiling contentedly. Butler Nan looked resolute, letting them took the posture that I was not moving, let them look at it, and secretly showed Hushi a friendly and gentle smile. Finally Mrs. Naylan, who was going to faint with excitement, suddenly woke up and screamed, Impossible! How is King of Hell marrying Naylan Hushi? She is just an ugly and disgusting trash. Naylan Yurong also had a distorted and hideous expression. She could no longer maintain her arrogant posture. She said in a deep tone, Butler Nan, think about it more clearly. Did you hear the wrong command of King of Hell? Is he actually asking you to propose marriage to the elder miss of Naylan Mansion, but you heard third miss instead? Butler Nan raised his eyes and sneered faintly. Is Ms. Naylan implying that I'm an old fool who can't even hear Mu Master's orders clearly? Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Or the eldest lady of Naylan Mansion is also called Naylan Hushi? My master said clearly that he wants to marry Naylan Hushi. No, it's impossible. Naylan Yurong couldn't help raising her volume. Her pretty face flushed with anger. Obviously, King of Hell and I only fell in love after he saved me a few days ago. His eyes were also full of affection looking at me. How could it be Naylan Hushi? You obviously distorted the will of your master. Aren't you afraid that King of Hell will put the blame on you? Yurong, shut up. Before Butler Nan spoke, Naylan Zhengzi grabbed Naylan Yurong and apologized to Butler Nan repeatedly. Butler Nan, my daughter is still young and innocent. She just spoke without thinking. Please don't be bothered by her. As the saying goes, the one standing in front of the Prime Minister's gate was a third-grade officer. Butler Nan represented the King of Hell Mansion. How could he be simply questioned? What's more, Nan Guanjia himself was a master of the gold core stage. Butler Nan chuckled, his voice full of sarcasm. It's really eye-opening for visiting Naylan Mansion today. I didn't expect there is still someone who dares to pretend to be King of Hell's wife. Is Miss Naylan thought you can be impertinent to show off to our King of Hell Mansion for being the disciple of Master Shukong? Butler Nan, please calm down. Don't be angry. Naylan Zhengzi's sweat dripped off his forehead. He apologized repeatedly, and he finally let Butler Nan retrieve the spiritual power fluctuations from his body. Just thinking that the person the King of Hell proposed marriage was Naylan Hushi, he couldn't help but feel a surge in his heart. It was as if he had swallowed dozens of flies, making him nausea and heartache. Naylan Hushi, the illegitimate child, is not a child of my Naylan family at all. If she marries into the King of Hell Mansion, what good does our Naylan family have? Not to mention, she has long since separated from Naylan Mansion, and Enlingyue's relics are still in her hand. If she marries King of Hell, and uses the power of King of Hell Mansion to deal with Naylan Mansion, Wouldn't it be the end of Nalan Mansion? Thinking of this, Nalan Jungza gritted his teeth and said to Butler Nan, Butler Nan, I don't want to conceal it. It's not that I want to refuse King of Hell's propose. But my third daughter, she, as he said, there was an expression of shame on his face as if he had made up his mind. Butler Nan didn't know that my third daughter, Nalan Hay, is born with a useless physique and ugly face. Moreover, she has an intimate relations with Zhu family's young master. Such a girl who has no virtue, appearance and talent really can't match up to King of Hell. But my eldest daughter Nalan Yurong is different. Nalan Jungza glanced at Nalan Yurong and quickly smiled. Yurong has been very talented since she was a child. She is the direct disciple of Master Shukong. After she became a master's disciple, she already has the title of the 4th-ranked doctor. Moreover, Yurong has been gentle, frugal, dignified and elegant since she was a child. Although her cultivation level cannot be compared with King of Hell, Master Shukong said that as long as the person is Yurong's husband-in-law, he will do his best to support him. Master Shukong is the elder of the Doctors Association. With the assistance of Master Shukong, I believe King of Hell's strength will ascend to another level. Who are better or worse among my daughters? I believe King of Hell can tell if he just thinks about it. Butler Nan, why don't you go and talk to King of Hell again? Maybe King of Hell really got it wrong? Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Butler Nan sneered faintly. Before he could speak, a low voice came from the door. Nalan Jungza, what you mean by this sentence? Are you saying that is that this king is blind and can't see good or bad? This sound seemed to appear out of thin air, resounding in the ears of everyone in the main hall. The voice was actually very pleasant. It brought a numb magnetism that made people blush and had a heartbeat, and the tone of voice did not fluctuate. There was even a hint of a smile in the tone. However, Nalan Jungza was terrified that he almost fell to the ground as he heard it. The next moment, everyone looked at the door of the main hall with their eyes looking straightened, and their breathing paused. A bright noon sunlight shone from behind everyone's, dazzling everyone's eyes. However, the presence of the person was not concealed by the dazzling sunlight, as if he was a noble god that strolled in the human world. He approached slowly toward the ant-like mortal. As he walked in slowly, everyone could see the face of the person coming in. After that, they all took a deep breath. This was a man who was so handsome that it couldn't be described in words. Whether it was the eyebrows and facial features that captured the essence of the world, or the tall and slender figure, or the demeanor that looked down on everyone else, it let people have an urge to kneel and worship him. This was Nan Gongyu, the only nascent soul stage master of Jinling Kingdom. The real peak powerhouse, King of Hell, Nan Gongyu. Especially after the battle with Luli sect, although the smell of blood on his body had been washed away, the murderous aura was still imprinted in his bones. In between his breath, his every move even had a chilling murderous aura. As soon as Nan Gongyu appeared, he attracted everyone's attention, and it made everyone silent. They didn't even dare to gasp. Even Shang Guanqi, who wanted to greet with a smile, was afraid to step forward because of an inexplicable fear. Nan Gongyu's scorching eyes were looking at Hushi. How long has it been since I saw my little girl? In fact, it was only 1 or 2 months since they met at the Breaking Spirit Mountain, but it was like a century for Nan Gongyu. His eyes greedily looked around Hushi's body carefully. At first he regretted that Sheer didn't show that beautiful face, but when facing those cold eyes, Nan Gongyu felt that no matter what Hushi looked like, he was his Sheer. Even now, this pair of skinny faces and unsurprising appearance was so cute in his eyes that he couldn't wait to hold it in his arms and rub it. Nan Gongyu was eager to get close to Hushi, so naturally he wouldn't wrong himself as he walked toward her. As for the others in this room, he didn't put them in his eyes at all like they were non-existent air. Since Nan Gongyu appeared, Nalan Yurong looked at him obsessively. Her heart was thumping. It almost pounced out from her throat. She studied under Master Shukong. It was not that she had never seen a good man. Even her senior fellow apprentices were all young and handsome with outstanding talents. However, When Nalan Yurong met Nangongyu, she knew that there was a kind of man in the world that no other man was comparable to him. Whether it was Nangongyu's excellent appearance, the terrifying cultivation level of the nascent soul stage that was achieved only at the age of 20, or his majestic aura that despised the world, all of these made Nalan Yurong moved. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Compared to Nangongyu, her fellow apprentices were not even worth to hold her shoes. If her Nalan Yurong wants to marry, she must marry such an outstanding person. Otherwise, how could she live up to her outstanding appearance and extraordinary qualifications? Nalan Yurong was staring at Nangongyu obsessively. When she saw him walking toward him quickly, her heart was wild with joy. She secretly said, as expected, "It's that damn butler made a mistake about the person that King of Hell wants to propose. Isn't he here to personally explain to me?" Thinking of this, Nalan Yurong's cheeks flushed, and he hurriedly took a step forward and saluted Nangongyu. "His Royal Highness King of Hell, I'm Nalan Yurong." After bidding farewell at the Qingming Peak that day, is King of Hell doing well after that? Nangongyu was blocked, so he was very unhappy. He looked at the pretentious woman in front of him, and he said coldly, "Who are you?" Nalan Yurong, who was still smiling, had her expression suddenly stiffened. It took a long time for her to pull out a smile to maintain her beautiful face. King of Hell really knows how to joke. "I'm Yurong. I was at Qingming Peak the day before yesterday. It was King of Hell that you saved my life, and I have always remembered it since then." Nalan Yurong's delicate voice was still sounding softly, but she suddenly found after talking for a long time that there was no one in front of him. Nangongyu didn't remember who this woman was at all, and he didn't have the patience to listen to her finish. He disappeared into the spot, and when he reappeared he was already beside Hashi. Nangongyu reached out and hugged the girl's soft body into his arms, then let out a low sigh. He sighed close to her ear. "Sheer, I really miss you." "Did Sheer miss me?" In response to him, Hashi clasped his wrist, put his arm around her body, and pulled away the body hanging on her body. The pure spiritual power was condensed into a single strand that penetrated into Nangongyu's wrist. It took only one round before Hashi's expression changed. She glared at Nangongyu and asked with her eyes, "Didn't you say that you will be fine? Why is it that more than a month has passed, and there are still internal wounds in your body?" Although Nangongyu's spiritual power was already abundant, there were many blockages in the meridians, and his dantian had some signs of damage. If one looked closely at his face, one will find that his eyes were covered with bloodshot eyes, and his expression was full of fatigue and haggard. Nangongyu was not annoyed when she stared at him. He grabbed her waist, rubbed her satin-like hair, and said aggrievedly, "Sheer, you don't miss me? I didn't even sleep for a month just to see you soon." Hashi knew he was shameless, but when she heard the man's coquettish murmur and saw the fatigue on his face, she still gave in. She felt even touched. She took out a medicinal pill without a trace and stuffed it into Nangongyu's mouth. Only then Nangongyu showed a satisfied smile. Feeling the incredible and resentful gaze projected by Nalan Yurong, Hashi couldn't help but sneered. "I didn't expect King of Hell still likes to play the hero saves a beauty. How is it? Are you happy being admired by a beautiful woman? Is there someone else here who wants to offer herself to you?" Nangongyu looked at Hashi's indifferent smile, and he suddenly felt stunned. He quickly explained as he by the heaven and sun as witness. "Sheer, you can't listen to others talking nonsense that wrong and wrong. I swear. I don't even know this ugly woman. I didn't even save her before. Sheer, if you don't believe it, you can ask Qinglong to testify." Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. As he spoke, he looked at Qinglong ruthlessly. "Answer the princess's question truthfully. If you dare to lie a single word, don't blame me for being impolite." Qinglong couldn't keep up with Nangongyu's speed, so he had an inexplicable arrow in his chest as he stepped into the Nalan mansion. Sure enough, When master meets the princess, he will become unreasonable. Qinglong coughed and saluted Hushi respectfully. Princess, what do you want to know? I will tell you everything I can. Before Hushi could speak, Nangongyu immediately took a cold look at Nalan Yurong on the side, and he said coldly, the eldest miss of the Nalan family said that I have a life-saving grace for her? Qinglong, you follow along all the way with me. Why do I not remember that I have saved such an ugly monster? Nangongyu's words made everyone in the main hall of Nalan Mansion couldn't help twitching their mouths. Just now Nangongyu's gentle and pampering look at Nalan Hushi broke everyone's jaws. This is King of Hell. The cruel, bloodthirsty and ruthless King of Hell. The woman who tried to approach the King of Hell before was either scared away or died at his hands. Even Feng Lianying, who was rumored to have an engagement with King of Hell, never got close to King of Hell. But now, King of Hell was showing a tender expression as he was facing a very plain girl with yellow face and thin skin. He even said that Nalan Yurong was an ugly monster. Everyone's appreciation of the beauty was disrupted now. Who is the ugly monster? Is King of Hell really not blind? The one who couldn't stand this result the most was Nalan Yurong. She looked at Nalan Hushi, then she saw Nangongyu who was holding Nalan Hushi. She felt the blood surge in her chest. She couldn't help screaming. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. King of Hell, think about it again. You must have admitted the wrong person. The person you like should be me. I'm Nalan Yurong, and I was at Qingming Peak that day. Didn't you save me because you liked me? You even smiled at me. You are obviously affectionate to me. Qinglong finally figured out the ins and outs of the matter at this time. Now looking at Nalan Yurong's eyes, she seemed like self-sentimental crazy. He cleared his throat and said, Master, did you forget? At Qingming Peak, you wanted to give a spirit fox to the princess. When Ling Hu was about to be caught, a woman suddenly ran out. Behind her was a demonic rhino bull, and the woman was even yelling all the time. As a result, the spirit fox was frightened. When the spirit fox fled in a panic, it was trampled to death by the demonic rhino bull. Then, Master, you tore that demonic rhino bull apart in anger. As he said, he didn't forget to increase Hushi's favorability toward his master. Princess, Master was rushing at the time. He could finally spare some time to hunt a spirit fox for Princess, but it was ruined by this woman. Master was very angry at the time. He didn't even look at the woman, let alone falling in love at first sight. Hushi couldn't help but evoke a slight smile at the corner of her mouth. Nangongyu was suddenly elated. He hugged Hushi and whispered in her ear, Sheer, you are even jealous of this kind of thing. It seems that you really fall in love deeply with me. Get lost. Hushi smoothly pushed his head away. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel. cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Nalan Yurong was totally unwilling to believe what Qinglong said, and she kept muttering, Impossible. Impossible. You must have lied to me. I'm so excellent and beautiful. How can you not like me? Your Highness King of Hell, have you lost your memory? Have you forgotten the beautiful moment we had? Crazy woman. Nangongyu's eyes were cold, and he said coldly, Nalan Yurong, you killed the spirit fox that I want to give the princess, and I didn't ask for compensation from you, but you actually blame me instead. You say, how can I repay you? As soon as the voice fell, a chill of murder suddenly spread throughout the hall. Even the unrelated Shang Guanqi, Nalan Zhengzi and others were trembling due to the powerful spirit pressure. They almost fainted. Not to mention Nalan Yurong, who was in the front. Her face was pale, her eyes were full of fear, her blood was even surging, and a mouthful of blood came out. Yurong! Mrs. Nalan exclaimed. She rushed to his daughter's side and repeatedly kowtowed to Nangongyu to beg for mercy. Your Highness King of Hell, please spare her life. Please spare my daughter's life. She didn't mean to offend your Highness. Please forgive her. Nangongyu snorted coldly, and the spirit pressure on his body slowly subsided. Nalan Yurong's body trembled violently, then she fell into Mrs. Nalan's arms. Yurong, are you alright? Don't scare your mother. Mrs. Nayland looked at the miserable look of her daughter who had always been arrogant in her arms, and she couldn't help crying. This is my proudest and most precious eldest daughter. She has always been the target of praise and admiration by others, and she has a high confidence. Now that she has suffered such humiliation in front of everyone else, how can she face it in the future? And all this is caused by the bitch Nayland Hushi. What method did she use to seduce the Crown Prince and King of Hell? As Mrs. Nayland thought about it, her temples vibrated violently. The blood in her body also surged. Her mind was in complete chaos, as if she would lose her mind at any time. The atmosphere in the main hall became more and more weird. Nayland Jung's face was pale. He wanted to say something to stop the marriage, but he was timid when faced with the terrifying pressure of King of Hell. Compared with Nayland Jung's fear and aggrieved, Nayland Ziyun was more resentful. Nayland Hushi, this ugly monster. How can she get the favors of so many people? Never mind if you and the Crown Prince are seduced by her, now even King of Hell. Nayland Jungza took a deep breath and took a moment to ask Nangongyu cautiously, His Highness King of Hell, could it be said that you really fell in love with Hushi, and you want to marry her as King of Hell's wife? Nangongyu squinted his eyes and showed a displeased expression. I'm already standing here. Do you think it is true or not? But how is this possible? Nayland Ziyun finally couldn't help it. She almost blurted out. She is just a mortal with no cultivation base, and you are King of Hell. How can you really like her? The cold light in Nangongyu's eyes flashed through. He looked at Nayland Ziyun with an ambiguous smile and slowly said, How can it be impossible? I fell in love with Xier at first sight. Now I come here specifically to propose to her. What's wrong with it? Or you want to question my decision? No, I dare not. Nayland Ziyun shivered under Nangongyu's terrifying gaze. He burst into a cold sweat and didn't dare to say anything. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. However, the gaze that vaguely looked at Hushi was full of vicious hatred and resentment. How can I allow Nayland Hushi to run away before I get Lingyu as relics? Wouldn't all my effort during this period of time be in vain? Nangongyu no longer cares about him. He lowered his head close to Hushi's ear and whispered softly, Xier, if you don't agree to marry me, you will marry those awful stinky men. So Xier, it's good to marry me, so you should agree on it. Hushi pushed his head and scolded with a smile. Shameless. This shameless rascal was actually saying that others were awful stinky men. But despite scolding, the smile in Hushi's eyes still revealed her true feelings. The little hand that pressed on Nangongyu's face didn't let him feel alienated and angry. On the contrary, the delicate and soft touch of her palm made his heart ripple. The sweet and ambiguous atmosphere between the two of them formed a huge contrast with the depressing and dull atmosphere in the main hall. Nayland Yurong, who was originally lying in Mrs. Nayland's arms, saw the tacit and intimate interaction between the two. Then she saw Nangongyu looking at Nayland Hushi with gentle and petting eyes, and she finally couldn't help but burst out hysterically. Nayland Hushi, you slut, tai shameless bitch. First, you had an affair with the fat pig of the Zhu family. Then you seduced the Crown Prince, and now you even dare to be pretentious in front of King of Hell. What's so good about this slut? Why do you all want to marry her? Don't you know that she is an ugly monster, and she has no talent for cultivation? Even if this kind of waste is sold to the slave market, no one will want it. Nayland Yurong seemed to be in madness. The cold and proud veil was all torn off, and she completely forgot the disguise. Nayland Hushi, you really are like your shameless slutty mom. You aren't capable in anything. You can only seduce a man with a slutty method. Do you think that using such an obscure method can deceive King of Hell for a lifetime? I tell you soon you will be abandoned by King of Hell. You will not end well. Pa! There was a heavy sound. Nayland Yurong's body, which was half lying on the ground, was suddenly lifted up by a burst of huge force. She rolled several times on the ground, before hitting the pillar hard. Nayland Yurong spewed out a few more mouthfuls of blood. The extreme pain and fear made her face twisted hideously. Nangongyu didn't move even one step. and he didn't seem to make any move with his hand. He was still gently combing Hushi's scattered hair. But his gaze at Nalan Yurong was like a poisoned ice sword. It was cold with an undisguised killing intent. If you dare to say one more word, I will let you not able to speak for the rest of your life. Nalan Yurong was clutching her chest and wanted to say something, but before she could speak, suddenly there was a sharp pain in her chest. She fainted to the ground instantly. Mrs. Nalan looked at her precious girl fainting on the ground like a rag doll with her mouth corner full of blood. She also passed out. Nalan Zhengzi was shocked by the incident, and quickly kneed in front of Nan Gongyu. His Highness King of Hell, please forgive my little girl. She just admires you too much, so she spoke without thinking. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Nan Gongyu lowered his eyes slightly, looking down at Nalan Zhengzi who was kneeling in front of him. He seemed to be questioning with a smile. Dr. Nalan, just now your eldest daughter said that my princess had an affair with other men and seduce other men. Does Dr. Nalan also think this is true? Nalan Zhengzi shivered all over his body. He wanted to say that it was true so that he could slander Nalan Hushi to dismiss King of Hell's intention to marry her. However, the threatening gaze fell on him as if there was substance, causing him to fear that he would be torn apart. Finally, he swallowed and tremblingly said, "No, never. Hey. She has always been virtuous and good. How would she do such a thing?" Nan Gongyu smiled with satisfaction, then he looked at Shang Guanqi with a cold and dangerous look. "Your Highness Crown Prince, Miss Nalan said that she seduced you. Is there really such a thing?" "No. Absolutely no. This is the first time I saw Miss Nalan Hushi today." The Crown Prince staggered under his feet, and he could hardly stop himself from kneeling down. It was clear that King of Hell used a calm tone, but in Shang Guanqi's ears, it seemed like a deadly threat. Shang Guanqi understood the possessiveness of men too much. If Nan Gongyu felt that he had something to do with Nalan Hushi, or he coveted Nalan Hushi, Nan Gongyu would tear off his skin alive. Even if he was the high above Crown Prince, but facing Nan Gongyu, Shang Guanqi couldn't have the courage to resist. If Nan Gongyu was willing, even if he killed all members of the Shangguan family, becoming the emperor himself was a breeze. Shang Guanqi's words made Nan Gongyu more satisfied. He turned his head and looked at Zhu family's father and son. Zhu Zhongba was already stupid. Whether it was the pressure of Nalan Yurong or the pressure of Nan Gongyu, he shivered with fright and couldn't say a word. His crotch was wet. Zhu Yichun had many experiences in such events, and he immediately reacted and knelt down with a thumping sound. "Your Highness King of Hell, our Zhu family has always been wanting to marry the second Miss, Nalan Feishue of the Nalan family, and the one who had an intimate relationship with my family's Zhu Zhongba is also Nalan Feishue. Our marriage has been decided a few months ago. This really has nothing to do with Miss Nalan Hushi." "Oh," Nan Gongyu said with great interest. "It turns out that your son already has engaged with Nalan Feishue. Then can't you just fulfill it? I believe that with Dr. Nalan's identity, as long as he promised something, he won't go back on his promise, right?" Zhu Yichun immediately read between the lines of King of Hell's words. He was also a cunning person. After reacting to it, he immediately kowtowed with overjoy. "Thank you, Your Highness King of Hell. I believe Dr. Nalan will agree to marry Miss Feishue into our Zhu family, right?" Nalan Zhengzi's face turned green and white. He stared at Zhu Yichun fiercely, and he couldn't wait to skin him alive. However, he said in difficulty, "But my little girl has just engaged with the Crown Prince." Zhu Yichun immediately said, "Your Highness King of Hell, our Zhu family clearly engaged with the Nalan family first. There should be the basis of first come, first served, right?" Nan Gongyu looked at Shang Guanqi with a smile, and he slowly said, "It turns out that Crown Prince is getting addicted in robbing someone else's fiancé. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free." Shang Guanqi was embarrassed, and he flicked his sleeves fiercely. "Dr. Nalan, What are you talking about? When did I have a marriage contract with your daughter? Today, I came to just visit junior apprentice Nalan. I didn't intend to propose at all. Since there is nothing important, then I will leave first. No. Nalan Feishua almost screamed frantically as she rushed forward. She pulled the crown prince's clothes, crying in fear. Prince brother, you clearly said you want to marry me. How can you go back on your words? I don't want to marry that fat man. I don't marry him even if I die. Prince brother, please save me. Can you please marry me? A touch of pity flashed in Shang Guanqi's eyes. He wanted to say something. But when he looked at Nan Gongyu's ambiguous gaze, he suddenly pushed Nalan Feishua away. He said coldly, You already have an engagement with another person. How indecent is that to pester the other guy? Dr. Nalan, is this how you teach your children? Nalan Zheng's face already turned to green, blue, red, purple. All colors appeared on his face. But now it had developed to this point. Nan Gongyu was dedicated to marrying Nalan Hushi. Shang Guanqi obviously did not dare to offend Nan Gongyu. The Zhu family was also determined to marry Nalan Feishua. It was an irreversible situation now. Nalan Zheng sighed as if he was 10 years older suddenly. He looked at Zhu Yichun, gritted his teeth and said slowly, Master Zhu, since King of Hell has spoken today, then let's settle my daughter's marriage today. Of course it's the best. Zhu Yichun was overjoyed as if he was afraid that Nalan Zhengzi would renege it. He immediately said quickly, I have paired the birth of date of Zhu Zhongba and Nalan Feishua. And our Zhu family has already prepared the wedding ceremony. Therefore, let's set tomorrow as the day for the wedding ceremony to prevent any more issues. 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Our Zhu family's sedan chair will come to take Miss Nalan Feishua. Nalan Feishua's eyes were full of horror, and she tightly grasped Nalan Zheng's hand. She was crying while shaking her head. Father, I don't want. Zhu Zhongba had already recovered from his father's comfort at this time. When he knew that the person he was going to marry was Nalan Feishua, he immediately smiled happily. He looked at Nalan Feishua tenderly as he said, Miss Nalan Feishua, you will be our Zhu family's daughter-in-law in the future. When you marry to our house, as long as you take care of me, our Zhu family will never treat you badly. The fat face trembled with excitement. The pair of bean-like eyes glanced up and down Nalan Feishua's exquisite body up and down. His eyes were full of wretchedness. Nalan Feishua felt nauseous. She rolled her eyes and fainted like Mrs. Nalan. Zhu Yichun didn't seem to see this scene at all. He smiled and forced Nalan Zhengzi to agree to the wedding time tomorrow. Then, warmly invited King of Hell and the Crown Prince to join the wedding ceremony. Only then he left with his son. After Zhu Yichun left, Shang Guanqi didn't want to stay any longer. He didn't even chat with Nalan Ziyun. He asked his subordinates to carry the betrothal gifts and left. Compared with the pride expression when Shang Guanqi came, his departure seemed like running away in embarrassment no matter how. Nan Gongyu got Nalan Hushi's written marriage proposal from Nalan Zhengzi as he wished. After both parties wrote the marriage letter, he left with satisfaction. After Nalan Zhengzi sent away Nan Gongyu and others, he looked at the unconscious daughter and wife on the ground, only to feel the blood surging in his body. His vision turned dark. Even he almost wanted to faint. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Nalan Ziyun on the side saw King of Hell leave, and he finally couldn't help but look at Nalan Hushi. Third sister, when did you meet King of Hell? Why didn't you say it earlier? Nalan Mansion is now in a major crisis. As long as King of Hell is willing to help, what else should we be afraid of? Third sister, why don't you say? Hushi curled up her mouth and said without sincerity, Oh, I met him a long time ago, but I didn't know he is King of Hell. That's not bad. But this long time ago has to trace back to a very long time. After all, the second time they met, someone declared his identity. Nalan Ziyun's eyes were full of anger, and the expression on his face clearly showed that he didn't believe a single word of Nalan Hushi's words. Third sister, you are so arrogant during this period of time. Is it because you got the favor of King of Hell? But don't forget, Nalan Mansion is your family. If there is no strong family to help you, do you think you can stand firm in King of Hell Mansion? Based on your mortal qualifications with no cultivation base, even the servants of King of Hell Mansion can bully you. Third sister, let's see what you can do by then. Speaking of this, Nalan Ziyun's expression deliberately looked a bit gentle, as if he wanted to confide in Hushi. Third sister, you have to know that only me and father are your closest relatives. Only Nalan Mansion can be your backing. Only that you can a princess in the King of Hell Mansion. Third sister might as well give us the relics left by mother. As long as our Nalan Mansion becomes stronger, I promise to become the right arm of sister in the future, so that you can firmly grasp the heart of King of Hell. Doesn't sister think that this is the best choice? Hushi couldn't help but laughed. After saying for so long, you just want me to take out mother's relics. Nalan Jungza couldn't help but angrily said, these relics are left by your mother to you and Ziyun, and it is also the hope for the rise of our Nalan family. You should have taken it out. Don't think that you can sit back and relax after marrying to the King of Hell Mansion. Don't forget that you are just a mortal. How long do you think King of Hell's interest in you can last? Nalan Ziyun nodded and continued Nalan Jungza's words. Third sister, you can't cultivate. One day you will get old and become a crooked old woman. But what about King of Hell? He is a master of the nascent soul stage. Even if his cultivation is not progressing from then on, he can still live for 1,000 years. Does sister think that when you are old and ugly, King of Hell will still like you? However, it would be different if sister gives us mother's relics. Nalan Ziyun raised his head and smiled seductively. Mother's relics should have many magical prescriptions. By then, father and I will refine more pills that preserve your beauty so that you can catch King of Hell's heart. Is it that sister doesn't want it? It sounds really tempting. Hushi nodded, and the corners of her mouth twitched slightly. Just when Nalan Jungza and Nalan Ziyun were overjoyed, and thought she was going to take out Ling Yue's relics, Hushi spread her hands slightly and chuckled. It's a pity that I really don't have any relics left by mother. Why do you just refuse to believe it after telling you so many times? After speaking, she left the main hall without waiting for Nalan Jungza and Nalan Ziyun to speak. Only the father and son stood on the spot, staring at her leaving figure. They had the impulse of tearing her apart. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. As soon as Hushi opened the door of Xianyu house, she was not surprised to see someone sitting in her room smiling and looking at her. Before Hushi had time to say anything, her vision turned blurred suddenly. She had already stumbled and fell into Nan Gongyin's arms. The familiar clear breath spread out with a rare gentleness and a domineering demeanor, just like the feeling this person had always given her. Hushi remembered the scene that had just happened in the main hall. Before Nan Gongyu appeared, she initially wanted to solve these problems by herself, and she was already used to solving all the problems by herself. However, when Nan Gongyu appeared, everything changed. This man undoubtedly stood in front of her, blocked all attacks and humiliation for her, suppressed all rumors and slander for her, and did all the things she had ever wanted to do and did not expect to do. This feeling was amazing. Being protected by a person. Being gently held in his palm like a fragile object as if he was reluctant to let her hurt a little. Hushi had never experienced this feeling before, but after getting to know Nan Gongyu, she was protected and cared for by this man again and again. This feeling is strange, but it seems not bad either. Hushi stretched out her hand, hugged Nan Gongyu's thin waist, and pressed her face to his chest. Hushi's rare initiative made Nan Gongyu happy. His sheer was always cold and arrogant, just like a beautiful little leopard. She would not bow her head and wouldn't be tamed by others, and she would hurt the others with her paws if they were careless. But now this beautiful little leopard belonged to him, and she would soon belong to him completely and become his wife. Such recognition made Nan Gongyu exasperated, wishing to hug the girl's petite body into his bones. Qing Wuan and Mai Xiang, who were serving in the room, had already stepped out wittily. He Xiang and Cui Lu, sent by Nalan Ziyun, had already knocked out by Qing Wuan. The room was quiet, leaving only two people hugging each other. After hugging for a while, Hushi was about to push Nan Gongyu away, but she was pulled back by Nan Gongyu. The low and magnetic male voice whispered in her ear. "Sheer, you haven't answered my question yet? You didn't see me for so long, did you miss me?" And the man's voice didn't have a youthful and immature tone. It was a deep voice, but it wasn't the rough one. It was like a feather on the tip of the heart, making one's scalp numb. Hushi's face flushed. She tried to get out of Nan Gongyu's arms. However, how could she be comparable with Nan Gongyu's strength? The warm lips held her earlobe and sucked gently, and the man's rogue voice had the touch of pampering and coquettish. "Sheer, I miss you every day. How about you? Do you miss me?" Hushi's ears were already sensitive. Now that her ear was sucked by his mouth, she leaned against him weakly as her feet became soft. When Hushi heard the man's persistent question, the blush on Hushi's face spread to her collarbone. In the end, she couldn't argue with him, and she murmured, "Miss." As soon as she spoke, the red lips were already sealed. Even her breath was swallowed by Nan Gongyu. The hot, deep kiss ended. Nan Gongyu gasped violently, calming down his turbulent impulse. His eyes turned scarlet because of his effort in holding back. Hushi's pink lips were red and swollen. Her face was red like a cooked shrimp. She was panting lightly. She didn't even have the strength to stand. Please go to https://www.read light novel. cc/the king of hell is genius pampered wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Nan Gongyu held Hushi's face. His eyes were burning and he whispered, "Sheer, I really want to marry you home immediately, otherwise, I'm really afraid I can't bear it." As he said, he also hugged Hushi's waist and bring her closer to his embrace, letting her feel his heated impulse. Feeling the long and hard object pointing at her, Hushi stiffened and pushed Nan Gongyu away. She stared at the man in front of her, and said angrily, You are shameless." Nan Gongyu was pushed into a chair by her. Then he covered his chest, lowered his eyes slightly, and showed a painful expression. Hushi was taken aback. He rushed over to grab his wrist and check. "Nan Gongyu, how are you?" However, before the words were finished, she was hugged by Nan Gongyu. Nan Gongyu placed her on his lap with a smug and sweet smile on his face. He leaned to her ear and whispered, "I was initially hurt, but when I saw Sheer worry about me, then it doesn't hurt anymore." "You. Nan Gongyu, can you be more shameless?" Hushi glared at him viciously. In return, Nan Gongyu laughed with no sense of shame. He even bowed his head and kissed the corner of her mouth in a pampering gesture. Only this time, Hushi ignored him and grabbed his hand. This time was no longer the water spiritual power that went into the Nan Gongyu meridian, but the pure wood spiritual power. When the wood spiritual power went in, Hushi knew the injuries and meridian situation in Nan Gongyu's body clearly. Also because of the magical healing ability of the wood spiritual power, when the spiritual power flowed through the stagnant meridians, it would quickly alleviate the damage of the meridians. Nan Gongyu didn't notice anything wrong at first. When he felt his meridians began to heal, his face showed a surprised expression. Nan Gongyu knew from the beginning that Hushi possessed chaotic dantian and 5 elements spiritual power, but he always thought that the so-called 5 elements spiritual power was mainly based on pure water and fire spiritual power. In fact, Hushi had always been using these 2 spiritual power most of the time. But now, Hushi was actually using the wood spiritual power to heal him. And it was so pure that Nan Gongyu had never seen before? Nan Gongyu couldn't help but said, "Sheer, do you know what spiritual power you are using?" Hushi rolled her eyes at him. "I know that wood spiritual power cannot be used casually in front of outsiders. The last time I treated Gu Liufeng's mother, he warned me. It's just that I'm very curious. It's also the spiritual power of the basic attributes of the 5 elements. Why in Miluo continent, there are so few people who can use the pure wood spiritual power?" Nan Gongyu did not answer, but he stared straight at her. Seeing that Hushi was getting goosebumps, he pulled her into his arms. He said angrily, "You also know that wood spiritual power cannot be used casually in front of outsiders. Then you are still using in front of Gu Lufeng, that brat?" Is it for you that his relationship with you is closer than me? Hushi was really feeling angry and funny when she heard him. When I used with spiritual power in front of Gu Lufeng, I didn't know that it was an ability that could not be displayed in front of outsiders. What's more, didn't you already know that I have the spiritual power of 5 elements? When Nan Gongyu heard it, he felt that it was the case indeed. Hushi didn't conceal anything from him at the beginning. It was just that he didn't think about the spiritual power at first. Someone immediately became happy. He kissed Hushi again, and he whispered in her ear. So I'm the only insider of Sheer, everyone else is outsider, and? Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. Hushi pushed him away, ignored his crazy words, took out the silver needles and medicinal pills to treat him carefully. You know that you have internal injuries, you still rushed all the way here. Nan Gongyu, do you still want to lie? Listening to the girl's seemingly complaining but caring words, and watching her focus on treating him, Nan Gongyu's eyes looked so gentle as if water could drip out of them. He liked to watch Hushi worried about him and be busy around him. This made him feel that Hushi cared about Nan Gongyu. After finally dealing with Nan Gongyu's injury, Hushi finally breathed a sigh of relief. Because of the acupuncture treatment, Nan Gongyu's shirt was taken off. At this time he was showing smooth and firm chest muscles and perfectly curved six-pack abs. After the treatment, someone obviously should put on the clothes, but he just threw the clothes aside, shamelessly dangling in front of Hushi, like a peacock showing its tail. Hushi was amused by him. Looking at his perfect and sexy figure, she blushed a little. Nan Gongyu quickly put on the clothes. Do you believe I will put 2 more needles to make you immobilize for a few hours? Is this man really the same person as the evil, cruel and scheming King of Hell when I first met? Nan Gongyu put on the clothes again slowly, but his scorching eyes were looking at Hushi. It made her heart thump. Even her breathing became flustered inexplicably. But Hushi seemed to remember something as she said in a solemn voice. Nan Gongyu, is the matter with Lu Li sect related to you? Nan Gongyu didn't mean to deny at all. He just pulled her in her arms and smiled happily. Sheer is really smart. Hushi's eyes widened suddenly, and she said in disbelief, You really eliminated the Lu Li sect? She was initially just guessing randomly. She had never believed it. However, she didn't expect Nan Gongyu to give her such a definite answer. But how is this possible? That's Lu Li sect, one of the 4 major sects of the Miluo continent. There are countless nascent soul stage, gold core stage martial artists, and mountain guard array blessing. In addition, the terrain is easy to defend and difficult to be attacked. How did Nan Gongyu do it? Nan Gongyu gently stroked her soft silk-like hair, and he said indifferently, Isn't it just a Lu Li sect? It's not a big deal for it to be eliminated. Why is Sheer so surprised? Who asked them to be so insensible by provoking my future princess? Hushi opened her mouth and closed again. It was a long time before she said in shock, I heard that when Lu Li sect was destroyed, the Feng family didn't get any news. Everyone in Lu Li sect's door was dead silently. The layers of enchantment and array set outside the sect show no signs of being touched. There are only 2 roads leading to Lu Li sect. The enchantments on the front road have not been destroyed at all, so only the back road is left. Is it that you went into Lu Li sect through the magical beast forest? Nan Gongyu nodded, then he remembered something. He took out a food box from the storage utensils, and he said in aggrieved, The magical beast forest is full of evil breath. There is no edible delicacy. After I received this food box, I have been waiting eagerly for Sheer to give me another one. However, I still didn't get it until... Hushi's mouth twitched. Is it time to care about this? She couldn't help frowning and said, Is it really okay for you to kill Lu Li sect like this? I heard that the Feng family is so powerful. They have a venerable behind them. What if they know? Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. Sheer, don't worry. Nan Gongyu scraped her straight nose and said softly, I will be here to protect Sheer and myself. I'm still waiting to marry my princess home. As for the incident in Lioli Palace, no one knows that I did it. The Feng family members have been monitoring me all year round. They are very clear about the strength I have, and they believe in their investigation. So they won't doubt me at all. As Nan Gongyu said, his eyes slowly became cold. When they doubt me, it will be their time to die. Hushi was relieved. Thinking that this man killed Luli's sect, whether it was for her or not, she still felt warm in her heart. It was a feeling of being cared for. Nan Gongyu glanced at the room and suddenly asked, Sheer, I was just about to ask you, why did you suddenly live in Nalan Mansion? Moreover, you are almost being married to some insignificant people. Speaking of this, Nan Gongyu gritted his teeth for a while. If it wasn't for Qing Yuan to send the news to me quickly, I would still not know about it. People like Shangguan Qi even dared to think of marrying my princess? I think the Shangguan family is tired of living. Hushi laughed and said, If I don't want to marry, do you think someone can force me? Even if you don't show up, I will naturally have a way to get rid of these people. Meeting Nan Gongyu's aggrieved eyes, Hushi blushed. She buried her face into his chest. Then she said with a coquettish voice, But Nan Gongyu, you are here. I'm very happy. She didn't solve it by herself, but Nan Gongyu rushed her at the critical moment to shield her from all troubles, confessed his feelings for her in front of everyone, and had the determination to treat her wholeheartedly. This made her feel extremely happy and sweet. Nan Gongyu stiffened. He could hardly believe his ears. After a long time, he took Hushi's face and carefully took off the human skin mask on her face. The light in the room was not very bright, but it couldn't affect the girl's peerless, stunning appearance at all. The beautiful phoenix eyes, the tall nose, the pink lips, and the snowy jade-like skin. Everything seemed to be carefully carved from mutton-fat white jade. It was so perfect and so alluring. Nan Gongyu lowered his head and bit on the tip of her nose. His dull voice sounded as if with a hot flame. Little girl, don't always seduce me. You know, I don't even have a little self-control when facing you. Hushi pushed him away and said in annoyance, Who seduce you? Nan Gongyu hugged her back in his arms. Just as he was about to say something, he heard Az's low voice from outside the door. Miss, someone is coming over here. Do you need me to chase them away? Hushi was taken aback. Her eyes flickered as she said solemnly, No need. Immediately, she jumped out of Nan Gongyu's arms in a flash. Feeling the hollowness of his arms, Nan Gongyu's face immediately became unsightly. He complained, What's so good about this Nalan mansion, Sheer? If you see them not pleasing to your eyes, I will demolish the entire mansion and let everyone in it to be your plaything. Why bother playing mind games with these people? Are you looking for troubles for yourself? The point was that they finally reunited after not seeing each other for a long time, and he wanted to be intimate with Sheer, but he was interrupted by others. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife / to read the latest chapters for free. Hushi gave a soothing smile and whispered her doubts about Enlingyue and his brother. Little Golden Dragon found out that there is a peculiar array in Nalanjing's room. I also threw a purple abyss vine seed into the array today, but this array is really peculiar. As the purple abyss vine seed tries to sprout, Nalanjingza will feel it. I'm also a little helpless now. Strange array. Nan Gongyu raised his eyebrow. I have some research in array, why don't I go and see it with Sheer? Hushi doubted that Nan Gongyu even knew about array, then she remembered that he even broke Luli Sek's Mountain Guard Array 9 Turn Earth mysterious array. Nalanjing's insignificant array might really be a piece of cake for him. So she nodded happily. When Nalan Feishue is marrying tomorrow, everyone in this mansion must be at the banquet at night. The defense in the mansion will be much more relaxed. At that time, we will go to Nalanjing's study room to explore. When Hushi and Nan Gongyu were having an intimate moment, the other people in Nalan Mansion had gloomy faces. Their hearts were full of resentment and unwillingness. In the study room, as soon as Nalanjingza entered the door, He angrily picked up the teacup on the table and slammed it on the ground. His facial muscles twisted for a while. His eyes seemed to exude the flames that could devour people. He murmured, "Bitch. Bitch. She is really a daughter of a bitch. What an ungrateful daughter. I knew I should have strangled her to death when she was born." Nalan Ziyun, who followed into the room, also had an extremely unsightly face. He clenched his fists and his voice became muffled because of extreme resentment. "Father, you said that King of Hell wants to marry Nalan Hushi. Is it because Nalan Hushi that bitch gave an Lingyue's relic to King of Hell?" Nalan Jingza was taken aback, then he frowned. "Didn't you say that she has given the relics to Shiyu? What's more, although an Lingyue's relics are precious, King of Hell may not even bat an eye on them." Nalan Ziyun's eyes dimmed and said coldly, "That may not be true, father. Have you seen an Lingyue's relics? In case there are great cultivation secret book or pill prescriptions, it can help King of Hell to break through the divine stage. Father, if you are King of Hell, wouldn't you be tempted? As for Shiyu, he is just a low-rank martial artist of the foundation establishment stage. Maybe Nalan Hushi abandons him after she got the favor of King of Hell." Nalan Jingza thought and felt that his son's words made sense. Otherwise, he really couldn't figure out why the great genius King of Hell, who was admired by countless women, would choose to marry Nalan Hushi, a woman who had no talent and no appearance. Nalan Ziyun slammed the table angrily and said, "Now that this woman has looked for King of Hell as a backer, we can't do anything to her. Is it that we can only let an Lingyue's relic be possessed by this bitch? Impossible." Nalan Jingza yelled coldly. His eyes slowly glanced to a corner of the study room, and a sullen smile appeared on his mouth. "Nalan Hushi can't escape from my palm. So what if she marries King of Hell? By the time, she will still kneel down in front of me and beg me. Hee hee. The things that belong to our Nalan family will definitely fall into my hands." Nalan Ziyun was startled. A hint of suspicion appeared on his face. Even if Nalan Hushi is given a chronic poison, with the method of King of Hell, he may find a way to detoxify it. This may not necessarily be a means to threaten that damn little girl. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. We have just achieved Patreon Community Goal 1. So here's 2 extra chapters for the week. Thanks for supporting us. But Nalan Jingza's expression was too determined, making him realize that Nalan Jingza must still hold a bigger trump card. This trump card would be very amazing. At the same time, in Nalan Feishue's room. Nalan Feishue, who had been in a coma, finally woke up slowly. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw her sister, Nalan Yurong, and mother, Mrs. Nalan, sitting aside. Nalan Yurong's face was pale. Her expression was haggard, but her eyes were surprisingly bright. There was a fierce hatred inside. Mrs. Nalan pressed her forehead with a towel as she was sobbing. She muttered continuously, "My poor daughter, my poor children." Nalan Feishue's memory slowly rolled back. What she saw was the lewd smile of the fat pig, Zhu Zhongba, before she fainted. She screamed abruptly. She jumped up from the bed and shouted loudly, "I don't want to marry that fat pig. I will never marry that fat pig. Mother, elder sister, you must save me, please save me." Oh, when Mrs. Nalan heard her daughter's cry, she couldn't help it anymore. Her low sob had become a wail. "My poor Feishue, it was all caused by that bitch. How could the master be so cruel? You're his own daughter. How could he marry you to that kind of person?" In the room, Nalan Feishue and Mrs. Nalan cried one after another. It was full of despair, sadness, resentment, and unwillingness. "Stop crying." Suddenly, a cold and clear voice interrupted their crying. Nalan Yurong, who had been sitting silent for a while, suddenly looked at the two of them and said coldly, "What's the use of crying? Are you willing to be humiliated and manipulated by that bitch, Nalan Hushi? Feishue, do you really want to marry that fat pig of the Zhu family?" No. I don't want to." Nalan Feishue shook her head frantically, and threw herself at Nalan Yurong's side. She said anxiously, "Elder sister, you have a way, right? You have a way to deal with that bitch, Nalan Hushi? You have a way to not let me marry that fat pig? Nalan Yurong looked down at her sister's tear-stained face, then the corners of her mouth slowly curled up. Well, if you really don't want to marry that fat pig, just follow my instructions. I promise, as long as you do what I told you to do. Not only can I save you from marrying Zhu Zhongba, but I can also make you become the wife of the crown prince as you wish. After hearing this, Nalan Feishue was overjoyed. She grabbed Nalan Yurong's hand, and repeatedly in a low tone. I do. Sister, as long as I don't need to marry that fat pig, I will do whatever it takes. Nalan Yurong smiled with satisfaction. She lowered her head slowly and uttered a long series of whispers in her sister's ear. Nalan Feishue's expression changed from the original shock and panic to overjoyed. Then she finally laughed and said, Elder sister, you are the best. Don't worry, I will get the things done. After speaking, she quickly changed her clothes and rushed out of the room. Nalan Yurong sat on the spot, looking at the back of her sister leaving, and a ruthless expression appeared on her face. Nalan Hushi, you want to fight with me for King of Hell? I want to see if you can have this life. When King of Hell knows that you are being violated, would he still love you and marry you as his wife? Ha ha ha. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. We have just achieved Patreon Community Goal 1, so here's 2 extra chapters for the week. Thanks for supporting us. It was a quiet dark night. It was very quiet in Xianyu house where Hushi lived. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew past. Several figures quietly sneaked into Xianyu house. The guards and manservants who were guarding the entrance of Xianyu house were nowhere to be found at this time. These people went straight in and pushed open the door of Hushi's bedroom. Who is it? My Xiang quickly got up from the bed, lit the candle in the room, and asked loudly, Why are you breaking into Miss' room? Miss Ba, what kind of miss is she? She's just an illegitimate child that no one cares about. After living in Nalan Mansion for a few days, she really thought she is Nalan family's miss? Nalan Feishue walked in swaggeringly with several guards and 2 sturdy maids behind her. At this time Hushi had already sat up from the bed. She didn't take off her clothes yet, and she didn't look panic at all. After getting up, Qing Wan poured her a cup of tea. Hushi was drinking tea as she slowly said, May I ask why is second sister bringing a bunch of people into my room? Nalan Feishue motioned to the maids behind her. The 2 maids immediately stepped forward and took out a set of phoenix crown and xiape, and placed them in front of Hushi. Nalan Feishue smiled smugly. Third sister, this is the phoenix crown xiape Zhu family specially prepared for you. You should try it if it doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, second sister will immediately ask the embroider to change it for you. Hushi raised her eyebrows and sneered. Second sister, are you crazy? I remember that the person that Zhu family's young master is going to marry is you. These clothes should be given to you by the Zhu family, right? What does it have to do with me? If it weren't for you, bitch, I would have married to the crown prince. Why would I have to marry that fat pig, Zhu Zhongba? Nalan Feishue couldn't help but let out a sharp yell. It was particularly harsh on this dark night. But the strange thing was that no one in the Nalan mansion was alarmed by such a loud noise. The guards who were originally patrolling outside the Xianyu house were gone. Nalan Feishue took a deep breath and she forced a smile. Third sister, I advise you to wear this wedding gown obediently. You must take one step at a time. Don't reach for the things that are beyond your level. What is the status of King of Hell? What character is he, and what kind of person are you, third sister? Do you think that with your beauty, you can really get the favor of King of Hell? Stop dreaming. Let me tell you the truth. You better not take things too seriously today. King of Hell did this today, just because he had arguments with elder sister, so he proposed to you to irritate elder sister. You are just a tool that King of Hell picked up casually. As long as elder sister flatters King of Hell, they will be together, and you will be dumped like a rubbish. Do you know how miserable you are? As Nalan Feishue said, she giggled as if she really saw Nalan Hushi's miserable future. She stretched out her slender finger, and pointed at the wedding gown beside her, as if she was doing a charity. She said with a chuckle, "So second sister advises you that you should cherish the opportunity to marry to the Zhu family. With third sister's appearance and talent, you are just barely matching up the Zhu Zhongba. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel. cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. In the future, third sister will become the madam of the Zhu family. You must thank second sister for this opportunity today." Hushi took a sip of tea slowly. There wasn't any panic on her face. Instead, she said with a half smile, "Even if there is no king of hell, there is still a crown prince. Why should second sister be so worried? Third sister will never fight for your opportunity to marry into the Zhu family." "Bitch. You shameless bitch. I knew it was you who seduced brother prince." Upon hearing Hushi mention the crown prince, Nalan Feishua finally couldn't hold her anger. She pounced toward Hushi fiercely. "You shameless bitch. Do you think that you are worthy of brother prince? I tell you that tomorrow you must marry even if you don't want to. If you are sensible, you better wear the wedding dress and go to the sedan chair tomorrow. Otherwise, don't blame me for using force." Hushi's wrist holding the teacup shook lightly. A purple vine soared into the air. She looked at Nalan Feishua who was pouncing at her, and she said leisurely, "Oh, you're welcome? Why are you going to be courteous to me?" When Nalan Feishua saw the purple vine, the pain left on her body seemed to be triggered. Her body shrank instinctively, then she backed up a few steps before saying in a tremble, "You, what do you want to do?" Hushi gently stroked the leaves on purple abyss vine, and she felt the intimacy of purple abyss vine for her. She then sneered, "Second sister, it should be me asking this, right? Didn't you just pounce on me? If I don't fight back, should I just let second sister beat me? Or second elder sister thinks that I'm still the Nalan Hushi who would let you bully?" The girl in front of her smiled clearly, but the cold phoenix eyes projected an icy chill. Nalan Feishua became stiff, then she burst into anger. "You wait. Nalan Hushi, do you think I really can't deal with you?" As she said, she clapped and sneered. "Bring the person in up." Soon, a man who was tied up being carried forward. He Xiang and Chui Lu, who were also awakened, yelled, "Young master!" when they saw the person being carried up. It turned out that the person who was tied up was Nalan Ziyun. He had messy hair, a haggard face, bloodstains on the corners of his mouth, and scars on his neck. He looked withered. When he saw Hushi, his eyes lit up and he whispered, "Sister, help me." He Xiang and Chui Lu looked at Nalan Ziyun anxiously. They said in a sobbing tone, "Young master, why are you being tied up?" "Young master, sorry to let you suffer." Nalan Feishua smiled smugly, and she looked at Hushi and said, "Nalan Hushi, have you seen it? This is your younger brother, Nalan Ziyun. If you marry Zhu Zhongba as I said, I will kill your younger brother. What do you think about it?" "No." He Xiang and Chui Lu cried and rushed toward Hushi. "Miss, you have to save young master. Young master is so good to you. He has been taking care of you since you moved into Nalan Mansion. You will definitely save him, right?" Hushi looked at Nalan Ziyun. Nalan Ziyun immediately said in aggrieved, "Sister, save me. Nalan Feishua is a lunatic. She will really kill me." Hushi raised her eyebrows and said, "Kill you? You're Nalan Jing's beloved son. Can Nalan Feishua still have a place in Nalan Mansion if she kills you?" Nalan Feishua's expression froze. Please go to https://www.novelupdates. cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Nalan Ziyun immediately said, "Sister, have you forgotten? Nalan Yurong is Master Shukong's direct disciple, and Nalan Feishua is her sister. Even if she really kills me, father can't put the blame on her. Sister, I'm your real brother. I loved you the most when you were a kid. You must save me, okay?" Nalan Feishua heard Nalan Ziyun's words and immediately laughed and said, "What now? Nalan Hushi, don't you want to save your brother's life?" He Xiang and Chui Lu knelt in front of Hushi, and they kept crying and kowtowing. Third miss, please save young master, have you forgotten? When Mrs. Nayland was about to beat you, young master desperately stood in front of you. Young master even sent to serve you. Mississippi Miss should remember young master's kindness to you, right? If Miss doesn't save young master, you are really worse than the animal. You're not a human at all. Standing next to Hushi, my Xiang frowned angrily. She wanted to speak, but she was pulled back by Hushi. Hushi looked at Nayland Ziyun and smiled. Oh dear brother, how do you want me to save you? Nayland Ziyun coughed twice and quickly said, Sister, just listen to Nayland Feishua's words and marry Zhu Zhongba. Otherwise, they will really kill me. Although King of Hell said that he wanted to marry you, you also heard that it was because King of Hell wanted to attract the attention of the elder sister. He doesn't really like you at all. Zhu Zhongba is different. Zhu family's power is similar to our Nayland family. Even if sister marries him, Zhu family will not dare to disrespect you. What's more, Zhu family is even the richest family in Jinling Kingdom. Sister will definitely enjoy endless glory and wealth after marrying. My sister, you should agree to it. Even Hushi's mood was calm as usual. She couldn't refrain herself from laughing when she saw their amusing performance. She shook her head and sighed. You really deserve to be my good brother. You still concern about my happiness at this time. However, I think second sister wants me to marry me just because she doesn't want to marry Zhu Zhongba, right? Without waiting for Nayland Feishua to speak, Hushi had continued. If this is the case, let Nayland Ziyun replace you instead. Anyway, I heard that Zhu Zhongba likes both men and women. Nayland Ziyun is still a young man. In addition to being handsome, everything else is fine except that he can't have children. I believe the Zhu family will be satisfied too. You. Nayland Ziyun's face twisted. Yixiang and Cui Lu were also dumbfounded. They immediately couldn't help crying and yelling at Hushi. Third miss, how can you say this? Young master is your brother. Is your conscience eaten by dogs? Young master is really wrong to treat you so good. Treat me good. Hushi burst into laughter. She said with disdain. Nayland Ziyun, I kindly remind you that if you really want to express the affection between you and me, can you please make the makeup on your face be more realistic and tie the rope on your body tighter? You all really think Nayland Hushi is a fool who you can simply fool around? The expression on Nayland Ziyun's face became stiff, and his eyes gradually looked gloomy. Nayland Feishua sneered impatiently. I told you that this trick doesn't work. This slut is shameless and selfish. How can he really care about you? Why are we talking so much nonsense? Just take her down. Please go to https://www.novelupdates.cc/ The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Nayland Ziyun's eyes looked gloomy, and his body shook slightly. The rope that was originally restraining him was shaken off. He stood up, looked at Hushi with a gloomy gaze, and slowly said, Sister, I thought I have treated you wholeheartedly during this period of time. I take care of you meticulously, but I didn't expect you to be so cruel. You just watch me die like that. Your brother is so sad. Hushi shook her head and smiled. Nayland Ziyun, if you don't have enough IQ, don't treat others as a fool like you. With your crappy acting skills, do you really think I'm a fool who can't see through it? Good. Very good. Since you are so ignorant, don't blame me for ignoring the affection between brother and sister. As soon as Nayland Ziyun said, he turned his wrist, and a white powder spread silently in the room. The sound of thump-thump came from the room. After just a few seconds, except for Nayland Ziyun and Nayland Hushi, as well as the people they brought, everyone else fell soft to the ground, including Yixiang and Cui Lu, who just pleaded for Nayland Ziyun. When my Xiang fell to the ground, she desperately tried to open her eyes and looked anxiously in Hushi's direction. But in the end, she still couldn't resist the soreness of her body and the blur of consciousness and fell unconscious. Seeing everyone fainted on the ground, even the annoying Nayland Hushi was lying motionless at the foot of the bed. Nayland Feishua suddenly clapped and laughed happily. While smiling, she looked at Nayland Ziyun and said with a chuckle, You are even more cruel. You can even harm your own sister. This bitch was so arrogant just now, but she still fell into your trap. Nalan Ziyun snorted coldly. She is just a trash. How can she be worthy of being my sister? She will only ruin my reputation. Nalan Feishua nodded in satisfaction. You did a good job. I will report to the elder sister later. She will think of a way to let you join the Doctors' Association. Hearing the promise of joining the Doctors' Association, a scorching light appeared in Nalan Ziyun's eyes. He suppressed the excitement in his heart and bowed his head. Thank you, second sister, and also thank elder sister for me. I will never forget the kindness of second sister in the future. Nalan Feishua waved her hand, stepped forward to Hushi, kicked Hushi's body twice, and said sinisterly, if it weren't because it would leave some scars on the bride's body, and the fat pig would be unsatisfied when playing with her, I really couldn't wait to tear off the skin of this bitch. Second sister calms down. If we simply kill Nalan Hushi like this, wouldn't we make it too easy for her? Nalan Ziyun also had an evil smile in his eyes. Second sister, do you have any instructions from the elder sister? What should we do next? Nalan Feishua nodded immediately and said excitedly, let's kill these two eye-catching girls first. Elder sister said that these two maids are not from our Nalan mansion. Who knows, they were given to Hushi by the men she seduced. Leaving them by our side may be harmful for us. Nalan Ziyun remembered that he had been conspired in the courtyard, and a ruthlessness flashed in his eyes. He nodded and laughed. Elder sister is really thoughtful. As for this bitch. Nalan Feishua raised her eyebrows. A gleeful gloating smile appeared on her face. Get her to my room. Elder sister's drug will take 12 hours for her to wake up. When she wakes up, it will be tomorrow late at night. She would probably be spoiled by Zhu Zhongba by the time, ha ha ha. Please go to https://www.novelupdates. cc/the king of hell is genius pampered wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Nalan Ziyun nodded repeatedly. His face was full of excitement and cheerful expression. As Nalan Feishua was about to ask the maids and manservants behind her to lift the people out, she suddenly felt something was wrong. At the same time, Nalan Ziyun also felt something was wrong. The originally silent room was even more silent now. It was as if there were only the breathing and voice of the remaining two people. However, there should still be the guards and maids I brought in this room. Nalan Feishua thought in surprise and horror. Then she turned to look. What appeared before her was Qing Wan's cold and ordinary face, as well as those eyes full of contempt and disgust. Isn't this the maid of Nalan Hushi? Shouldn't she be unconscious? Nalan Feishua only had such a thought in her mind, and she fainted right away. Similarly, Nalan Ziyun also fainted without making a sound. Nalan Ziyun was even thinking that after Nalan Hushi was spoiled by Zhu Zhongba, this bitch would beg him for mercy. By the time, he would join the Doctors' Association and get the relics of Enlingyue. The entire Nalan mansion would belong to him. Even Nalan Jingza, he couldn't ignore Nalan Ziyun. However, as soon as his thoughts turned, he saw Nalan Hushi's half-smile eyes with pity and disdain like she was looking at ants. It was as if he would step into the abyss in the next moment. After that, he completely lost consciousness. On the second day, the Nalan mansion was decorated with lanterns and streamers, and it was very lively, because of the hurried preparation. And the Zhu family wanted to marry the pretty wife and let his son go through the consummation. The wedding time was set at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. However, because Zhu Zhongba and Zhu Yiqun were anxious, the sedan chair was already in front of the Nalan mansion just after noon. Just in case, Zhu family also hired a lot of experts to help out, and he invited the sixth prince to his house to join the wedding dinner, so as to prevent the Nalan family from going back on their words. But the whole process went smoothly beyond their imagination. Even when the bride was welcomed into the sedan chair, there was no slightest resistance. Zhu Yiqun was relieved as he thought that Nalan mansion was afraid of King of Hell, so they didn't dare to make trouble. Zhu Zhongba's pig face was smiling happily. Thinking that he could marry such a tempting pretty wife, he couldn't help drooling. He wished it was night now so he could consummate now. After taking the bride, the groom's procession team of the Zhu family left in a huge commotion. The sound of gongs and drums resounded throughout the street, attracting countless onlookers. Mrs. Naylan and Naylan Yurong saw the sedan chair leaving, and a cheerful smile appeared on her face. Naylan Yurong whispered, "Have you confirmed with Feishua that there is nothing wrong with the whole thing, right?" Yurong, rest assured, this is related to Feishua's lifelong event. How could she not do it with all her heart? Mrs. Naylan smiled lightly. She was looking at her eldest daughter with full of pride. Feishua did it according to your instructions. After the consummation in the bridal chamber tonight is over, even if Zhu Zhongba didn't consummate with Naylan Hushi, they still worshipped heaven and earth after all. Even if she wanted to renege it would almost be impossible. When the time comes, we will spread the news, saying that Naylan Hushi didn't hesitate to knock Feishua out in order to marry Zhu Zhongba. She even pretended to be Feishua to go into the sedan chair. By the time, Naylan Hushi's reputation will be ruined completely. How would King of Hell still want her? Please go to https://www.novelupdates.cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Upon hearing this, Naylan Yurong's cold face finally burst into a smile. She squinted her eyes and said, "Mother, it is not good for you to spread these words. Let Naylan Ziyun spread it. He is the younger brother of Naylan Hushi. Whatever comes out of his mouth, I believe more people will trust him." Yes. Mrs. Naylan replied repeatedly. She said excitedly, "Yurong, you are really thoughtful. Naylan Ziyun is also an illegitimate child who can't be present at the proper event. If he wants you to help him joining the Doctors Association, he should at least do something right." Naylan Yurong nodded, turned, and walked toward her room. As she walked, the handsome face of King of Hell, Nangongyu, appeared in her mind, and there was also the tender and gentle gaze when he looked at Hushi. The hand hanging on her side suddenly clenched, and her nails were deeply embedded in her palm. "Naylan Hushi, you will soon be ruined and become a woman who is violated. Let's see how you want to seduce my King of Hell by then." The bride was picked up by the Zhu family long ago, but the banquet at Naylan Mansion did not end. In the front yard, there were guests who were toasting each other to congratulate the marriage between the Naylan family and the Zhu family. However, these guests said congratulations, but they were full of doubts. In Yanjing City, who didn't know the virtues of the Zhu family's unique son? Not to mention that he was fat, he didn't have any cultivation as well. He would most likely stay in the foundation establishment stage for the rest of his life. What about Naylan Feishua? She was already at the foundation establishment stage at a young age. Coupled with her beautiful appearance and good family background, what kind of man she couldn't marry? She actually married herself to that pig, Zhu Zhongba? The strangest thing was that this was obviously not a good marriage, but Mrs. Naylan entertained the guests with a smile. There wasn't any sadness of throwing her daughter into the fire pit. Naylan Zhengza always had a serious look, but it could be seen that his mood wasn't so bad from his occasionally lifted lips. Although the guests were full of curiosity and doubts, they were still sensible people. Of course, they wouldn't purposely ask for trouble themselves. Therefore, the hurriedly prepared wedding banquet between the Naylan Mansion and the Zhu family turned out to be very lively. In the entire Naylan Mansion, only one place had been quiet since yesterday. That was Xianyu House. Although the owner of this house did not ask for food today, did not come out to attend the wedding banquet, and there was not even a slight noise in the yard, no one in the Naylan Mansion felt strange. No one even came here to look for the owner of the yard. However, in the bedroom of Xianyu House at this time, there was a figure lying on the bed. The breathing was light and shallow. She obviously didn't move, but the white gauze dress she was wearing suddenly turned into a black tight shirt. The beautiful figure showed exquisite lines under the tightly wrapped black outfit. When Hushi was putting on her clothes, she felt a wave of fluctuations in the space. Someone approached her sleeping body. Hushi smiled slightly, and her mind went back to her physical body. She quickly sat up from the bed. Who knows, as soon as she sat up, she ran into a strong embrace. Nangongyu's low and smiling voice sounded above her head. "My little girl is so enthusiastic. She immediately throws herself into me when she sees me. Get up. Hushi pushed him away, laughing and cursing. Stop talking nonsense. Nangongyu didn't let go. He bent down to hug her horizontally. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel. cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. Hushi's height was actually not too short, otherwise there was no way to pretend to be the teenager miracle healer, Shiyu. But at this time, she was like a petty doll in Nangongyu's arms. She was almost entirely embraced by Nangongyu's arms. Hushi's face blushed. She struggled and said, "We are going to do serious matter today. You let me down quickly." Nangongyu has a serious face. For me, getting in touch with my princess and cultivating feelings is the most important thing. Hushi. I really want to slap him. Seeing Hushi getting angry, Nangongyu finally kissed her on her cheek and put her down. Just as soon as he put her down, he saw the girl's appearance under the moonlight outside the window. And his face looked serious immediately. Tonight, Hushi did not wear a human skin mask, revealing her original exquisite and beautiful face. Although she still wore a man's hair bun, she couldn't hide her stunning appearance at all. Hushi was wearing an ordinary black costume that tightly wrapped her body. The tight costume highlighted her slender body shape. Obviously she was just a young girl, but she was already so tempting, so enchanting. If she grows a little bit, what kind of unparalleled beauty she would become. Nangongyu stared straight at Hushi, and he didn't even hear Hushi speaking to him. After a long time he breathed out abruptly, hugged the person into his arms and muttered, "In the future you are not allowed to dress like this in front of other men." Hushi was startled at first. She didn't understand what he meant. When she reacted, she was dumbfounded. "King of Hell, you know that I'm either an ugly person in front of other people, or I dress up as a man. Do you think everyone has the same habit of liking men like you?" Hushi hadn't called Nangongyu as King of Hell for a long time. When she called last time, it was alienation and resistance, but now it had become flirtatious. Nangongyu was very satisfied with it. He laughed and said beside her ear, "Sheer, what you said is right. For you, I'm willing to be rumored as liking man. Sheer, you must be responsible for it." Hushi was amused by him. She looked up at his handsome face, and her eyes were flickering. She said, "You came so hurriedly, I don't have enough time to disguise my face and wear a corset. You wait for a while. We will set off after I'm done with it." She would never admit that she wanted Nangongyu to see her beautiful side. Especially after experiencing yesterday's incident. Nalan Yurong said that she was an ugly monster, shriveled daylily, and something else in front of Nangongyu. Hushi knew for the first time that she would care about this too. She cared about how she looked like in front of the person she loved. Nangongyu didn't think so much about the nonsense that an irrelevant woman like Nalan Yurong said. He didn't even hear a word of her. "Forget it, you don't have to disguise your face anymore." Nangongyu hugged Hushi without letting go, and he chuckled. "Anyway, only the two of us will act together tonight. Only I can see the true face of Sheer." He held up the girl's tender cheeks, lowered his head, and gently kissed the soft lips. "All this belongs to me alone." In short, when the two of them were ready to intrude into the Nalanjung's study room, it was already half an hour later. Please go to https://www.readlightnovel. cc/The King of Hell is Genius Pampered Wife/ to read the latest chapters for free. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.